Hi guys, it's Amy and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. Thank you so much for clicking on my videos to see what I've got going on. You know, I set up my channel just to chit chat with my friends about my crochet. So I hope you're enjoying yourself this morning, can sit down for a few minutes with me and see what I've been working on. Happy 4th of July, America. Yesterday was Friday the 4th of July and lots of fireworks going off all night. You know, I live out where it's rural and fireworks are legal, so lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of people have them. It's great when you want to look out and enjoy the fireworks. Not so great when you got dogs or maybe cats. I don't know how cats respond to fireworks, but both my dogs were up on my bed with me last night. They were not happy campers. So as you can see, the sun is trying to change position and I am trying to dodge the suns. But if I do much different, then I'm in the dark in here. So I'm kind of trying to still get a video done this morning. So as you saw by my thumbnail, the yarn that I've worked with to share with you today is this Laines du Nord. I know I'm not saying that right. This is a paint gradient for sock yarn, and you can see I fell in love with the way that the colorway goes from that really light up here at the top of the sock down to your dark orange toe. So I did a center pull and started with a white color and worked myself down until I got to the end of the dark color. I've got a little bit left here, but then you can see it's going to go back to the white color. And that was so that you can get your two socks, you know, running the same. But I had no plans of making socks with this yarn when I bought it. I very much wanted to buy it for its gradient of white to dark color. So if you remember, I got this one at the time. The colorway is just number 21. It is their sock line, which is, I'm trying to get all the stats. They do these little donuts and then you got to dig for the numbers. It's 75% muesling free wool. I don't know what muesling is. 75% muesling free wool with chlorine free treatment and 25% nylon. So each of these little cakes was 458 yards. And so I bought this one that's in this orange colorway with these great fall colors, autumn colors, lots of oranges, and then the reds and the browns. It's really, really pretty. I'll put in another picture, like I can go into the kitchen and get some better lighting than this. But I also bought it in this blue color. I thought that was really, really awesome if I can get in there and see those colors up close. That's not really doing it justice. Let's get in here like this. That's much better. So these blues and some greens. And again, it goes from a white down into the dark blue. So this is a nice colorway. Again, I kind of wanted just to work the one direction like that. I don't know if I'll find something that will work it right through. Look, at my color is just too red back here. It's driving me crazy. The sun. Okay, we'll see. It usually turns yellow in here, so I don't pull it all the way, but maybe that'll help this morning. So anyway, this one I did plan to only work half of it to see what, you know, a smaller shawlette might look like. And then this one, I don't know if I'm going to use it all in one sitting and make one giant Afghan shawl or wearable or something like that with it, or break it up like I did with the orange one here. So I was trying to show you in the best way possible. So I'll hold it up on my little handy dandy tri-fold thing, but I'm not folded out. But you can see here the pattern that I did is just a very basic, it was called a triangle shawl, very basic, very easy beginner. It's just V stitches. It's by Crochet with Gigi. And the only confusing thing, the only problem that I had during the entire project, because it's a one row repeat, is that you can see a V is right here. There's 2 chains inside the V, you know, a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet makes up your V. And then between the V's, you had 3 chains. So I had to constantly remember whether I was making only 2 chains or 3 chains. So there might have been a couple places in here where a V got 3, and I decided to, you know, do my best to make sure that I was right on track, but oh well, you know, if you can't see it, you won't see it. So yeah, there you go. Very, very light color all the way down into the deep orange there. You can see kind of those fall colors. Now it was a really, the light stayed light. Like I would have expected it to start changing sooner a little bit, but so that in my eye, the ratio of white is, you know, like 70-30 or something. Not at all evenly split. But maybe that's just my eye. Maybe from the bake, the amount of rows on the bigger part of the shawl. I don't know where my words are today. You know, maybe you have fewer stitches in the shorter part and more stitches in the longer part, so it's just doing a skew on my eye. But anyway, so that's in the fingering weight, and then I used a 5mm hook on there. Normally with a fingering weight, you're going to be using like a 3.5 maybe, or maybe a 4. But when you want an open, lacier, flowier garment, you go up a hook size, and you'll get. So that's why I used the 5mm hook on that. So then I'm looking at my yarn and figuring out what else do I want to work with. I always, not always, but in my opinion, it's easier for me to do the same pattern again with a different yarn or another yarn, you know, maybe the same yarn, I don't know, than look up another new pattern right away. Like everything doesn't have to be a brand new pattern to me. So you might have seen that before, that I like to do the pattern again in a different yarn, different size yarn. So I was looking at this, and I wanted to make some movement down here. This is my worsted weight row, and so I decided to go ahead and use some yarn that was sitting over here so that I could use the space. I think I actually needed a hook. I needed one of my hooks to put something away, and so I decided to go ahead and remove what was sitting on that hook, which is this aesthetic yarn here by Polyworks. And so this is a worsted weight yarn, and the colorway is called Hippy Dippy. Now I bought this, whoops, you see that was my 6.5mm hook I just dropped. And this is all the yarn that I've got left. And I think that I bought this in Rolla on our first trip there, when we found this place called Uniquely Yours, maybe. And so I really, really, really liked the colorway in the hank form. And I don't know, I'm sure that you've experienced that as well, when you've got a hank that you love the way that it looks in hank form, but then you put it into a cake and it doesn't, you sort of fall out of love with the yarn. That's what was sort of happening with this yarn. I really, really, really loved the way that it looked in hank, but then after I caked it up and was going to use it previously, I didn't care for it. And so it is one that I worked, I don't know if I've tried a couple of different patterns with it and then frogged it out. So it's been sitting here begging to be used. So I thought that this was a good one, because the reason I think that I was having trouble using it is just because it's so colorful. And I love a rainbow. I love a ton of color, but sometimes I don't feel like it looks very grown up. Like I feel like some of the kind of rainbowy groups of colors that I find look just like more like a kid color. And so I want to, you know, use it to its best ability. And so I think that this was really a very good use of the yarn with the pattern combination. I love the way that the kind of, I see the pops here and there of the colors that, you know, it's not just like a standard rainbow colors. The red is a little bit kind of, I don't know, some of the colors are kind of normal, but like I see the green and the blues kind of pop out, like there's some aqua and this green, this limey green is that chartreuse? I always forget what chartreuse is. You know, the red isn't like a solid total red. It's kind of a light pinky red. I don't know. I can't explain the colorway very well, but I thought it was very pretty. I thought this was a good use of the colorway. You know, it's hard when you've got so much color changing happening to do a solid stitch. Sometimes it really lends to the yarn well, that it's going to show each section of color, but sometimes it just looks jumbled and gargled up, and so it doesn't do the yarn justice. And so I think this one, having the spaces in there like that, is a good way to use this type of yarn that is going to let the yarn itself stand out. You know, nobody's looking at the V's. Everybody's just looking at the colorway. So I thought this was a really, really nice turnout for that yarn. See, like right here, I love this with this bright blue and that green. So this was a good pattern to try out both ways, you know, both with, did I say how much yarn on this one was? This is 218 yards, which is a standard worsted weight, you know, about-ish amount of yards. So I thought that was a good size. Like I say, you know, you can wrap it around like this. It can be a bit, you know, depending on your size. If this is a little smaller, a little bigger for you, you could have stopped early. You didn't have to use the whole hank, you know, to make something smaller. Or it can fit for a smaller child. You know, it's going to be a little bit big. Well, maybe not too small for this way, you know. It could fit like that for you as well if you want. Just put a little clippy there. Oh, that's really cute. Look at that. I love that. I love that. Look at me. Falling in love with it again right in front of your eyes. So I'm happy to have tried this out in 2 different ways, 2 different hooks. Like I say, did I say this was a 6.5 millimeter hook for the worsted weight? And then the fingering weight yarn, I used a 5 millimeter hook. I don't think I put that one on for you guys. These are great colors. You could wear this with a lot of different colors to get, you know, to pull each of the colorways out. You've got all these great oranges and reds and browns and taupes, and I love it. All right, guys, I hope everything is safe and well with you. What have I been up to this week? Oh, my poor puppy dog. I don't know if any of you guys have had a dog who, when they shake their head so much, he's had ear infections back to back kind of thing, and he shakes his head a lot, and his ear swelled up. There's an injury to it, so it swelled up, and then it filled up with some fluid, mostly blood, I believe, like it's a blood blister. It's a giant ear balloon. So sad. So we took him to have that, you know, taken care of by the vet, and it's something that it's not fixed on just one fix. So we can either keep doing expensive stuff, keep trying, or let it just be. She said the ear will eventually flatten back out and all the stuff in there will get reabsorbed into the body, but his ear will look a little deformed. And so we tried a second expensive treatment for it, and that still didn't work completely. So poor little guy's got some ear issue going on right now, and hopefully, you know, when it clears up, when it heals up, it won't look too bad. They said that it kind of looks like a cauliflower ear from a wrestler, if you ever know the way that their ear looks after stress or injury to it, you know. So our poor Poochie dog is kind of facing that situation coming up in the future, but he seems okay otherwise. So what else? Have not had my grandkids for 2 weeks now, which has kind of been nice. You know, we had such a routine going that, you know, everything was the same all the time kind of schedule. So these past couple of weeks have been a little bit nice. Although we miss them so much. I did see him last week trading off the car with the kids again. Is that what I was doing? What was I over there for? Maybe I was doing that. I don't know. But yeah, I miss my grandkids. It's nice to have a break from them for a little bit, but I do miss them. And I'm training somebody new at work, and that's always a little bit hectic and stressful. So hopefully that will alleviate things, because I've got a coworker going out on maternity leave here coming up soon. So I've got to do some other work. So we're bringing in somebody else to do my work, and kind of one of those. So I'll be stressed for the next, I don't know, 6 months or so. We'll see. All right, that's my video for today. I hope everybody's doing well. Have a wonderfully blessed day, and I hope you'll come back and see me again. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.